Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Daily Market Report brought to you by Mike Bjork. Today is Tuesday, and August 14th. We do got a lot of economic news releases scheduled for today. So, as I mentioned, yesterday was a quiet day, but this week is kind of packed full of economic news releases. So, we'll start off today with the NFIB Small Business Index. This is where the small businesses gather where they feel the economy is moving. So, back in June, they had a 91.4 rating. And July came in at 91.2. So just a dip below where they were back in June. And the next one is retail sales for July. So June they had negative 0.7%. This is the gross number, so they usually take out the larger ticket items like automobiles. So we'll see that next. But so we had about 2 or 3 months where it was negative, declining each month for retail sales. So we see negative 0.7 here, and we figured it would climb up a little bit, maybe a 0.2, and it jumped up to 0.8. So we're showing strong retail sales for July, which is obviously a very good number. So now you strip out the autos and get more of because it's obviously big ticket items. We'll see a little bit more accurate readings in this kind of what they look at. So, and you're going to see it's actually going to look pretty close to what the regular one is. So back in June, we had a negative 0.8%, and we figured it'd jump up to about 0.3, and again, jumped up to like 0.8%. So strong numbers in the retail sector, which is obviously very good here. Producer price index is the inflationary numbers for the wholesale division here. So we look at these, but they're not the more important ones, primarily because a lot of times the cost of goods to the wholesalers may not always get passed on to the consumer. Sometimes they'll take a little less margin to the consumer. So that's why we always look at the more of the consumer, like the CPI and the PCE indexes for those inflationary numbers. So we have for June a 0.1% growth. We figured it'd go up to about 0.2%, and we went up to 0.3. So a little bit higher for July. But if you strip out the volatility of the food and energy, we get the core PPI. And we had a 0.2% in June. We figured it would be about the same. And it jumped up to 0.4%. So a little higher numbers on the higher inflationary numbers on the wholesale level here. So something to kind of watch out for here. And especially see if it gets passed on to the CPI and PCE passed on to the consumer. So we'll kind of need to watch those numbers here, maybe heading into the fall, what's going to transpire. We also had the inventories for June, and we had a 0.3% growth for inventories, people stocking up, 0.3% for May. And so June basically came up a 0.1. So a little less inventories for June. Again, this is not relevant. We're kind of looking more at the small business index, the retail sales, and the little bit of the PPI as well. But retail is kind of what's setting the tone for today. Which is kind of the reason why the stock market's up today. So let's go take a look at the bond market. And right now, as we can kind of see, we're starting to see a trend here now going downwards. So what that means is when you see the bond market going down, that means interest rates are rising right now. So we're starting to see a climb in the interest rates here. We're down. We have an opening up here. We've had a couple here, and we still haven't closed that up. The longer time frame we go away from these opening gaps, the more difficult it is going to be to come back and close those. So it kind of usually could very much set up a trend to go downwards, which that means obviously higher interest rates. So be prepared. Rates are starting to climb up a little bit here. And so instead of getting the 3s, you might be in the 4% right now. All right, folks, you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by and watching. If you guys like these videos, stop on by mikesdailymarketreport.com. You can subscribe and have these emailed to you on a daily basis. And again, we do not spam. We don't send any other information, just this. All right, have a wonderful day.